Okay, take two. We've had some technical difficulties this morning. We're going to give it another bash. Okay, so welcome to Getting It Off Her Chest with G. Del Rey. To all the cosmic beings listening in and watching us maybe on YouTube, the thousands and millions of people, Regina, thousands and millions are going to be watching you. Yeah. We're going to be talking about plant medicine today and how I met Regina. Regina is in the States. Earlier this year, I went to Costa Rica in May, I think it was, end of April, early May, and Regina and I met, I think it was on the second day, the second ceremony, we actually had our mattresses next to each other. And if anyone's that's done plant medicine would know, when you journey with someone this way, you really do connect instantly. Everything falls away, all the ego, all the facades. You just see the person for who they truly, really are. And that's the beauty of plant medicine. So we had a really strong connection, and we've maintained our connection since coming home. Had really great chats on WhatsApp about, and we'll talk about integration of plant medicine later on. But it's really helped, especially helped me, and I'm sure you too, to be able to bounce off one another and see where the journey's taken us since. So let's just hand it over to you to introduce everybody to who you are and what is the work that you do, and how did you get into journeying with plant medicine?
Awesome. Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me. This is great. I adore my friendship with you, and I think you said it really, really well. When all the stuff falls away and you just see the light being that's with you, in front of you, and you feel totally free to be yourself. That's another thing. You just feel really seen and just free to be yourself. And it's a beautiful, beautiful relationship to build something on the concept of expansion and just being free. So I appreciate that very much. Yeah, so like you said, I'm in the U.S. Don't hold it against me. I'm in Northern California in the Silicon Valley area, and I'm a sign language interpreter. I've done that for about 30 years, and the last probably 8 years of that, I've been working in the tech industry, so this is the place to be for doing that kind of work. I'm basically interpreting meetings between deaf people and hearing people who are in an employment setting in the industry of tech. So about probably right around a year ago, this whole journey, I think, started with, I can almost recall the day that I just basically looked around and felt horrified that this was it. Like, that if you looked at my life on paper, I should be happy. I should be ecstatically happy, and I wasn't. And I just, to think that I would go, like, this would be the level that I lived at. Nothing terrible ever happening. Not enough to, like, shake my tree, to get me off my ass, to get me going inward or deeper, or asking questions about, like, who the hell am I? Like, being on a mission to find out, what is this thing that's, behind all of the ego, behind all of the personality role? And at that point, I knew about Kyle Cease, who is a transformational comedian. I think he's the only person on the planet that has that title, which he gave himself. But he was a stand-up comic for a lot of years. And, for whatever reason, he started waking up. Many of us are waking up right now. And he decided that at the top of his career, he didn't want to do stand-up anymore. He really just wanted to help people go forward. He wanted out loud. You can find them on the internet at evolvingoutloud.com, I'm sure. Anyway, I had been to one of his live events, found him both hilariously irreverent and also profound. And the thing about him that really got me was that he was so real and so authentic. You felt like you were engaging with the person behind the mask the whole time. And it was like, it inspired me to do the same. And that had started before this moment of like, what the hell is this all there is? But I went back to him. It's the first place that I went back when I had that experience. And I started watching some of his videos again. And that inspired me to start meditating. And I started meditating every day. I started out with 10, 15 minutes, but I made it a point to do it every day. And I worked that time up to about an hour a day fairly quickly. And now I'm doing between an hour and 2 hours. Haven't made it past about 2.5 hours because I get my mind engages and I start thinking that I need to be up like vacuuming or something. Yeah. Feel bad for the dogs, you know.
When was the first time you tried the medicine? When, you know, you've meditated and then it's opening you up, obviously. So when did you start experiencing or experimenting with plant medicine?
Yeah, so the medicine opened me up, which caused me to look into my life and see that I was drinking alcohol on a pretty much daily basis. And I didn't want to do that and meditate because it's just stupid to meditate drunk. So I would come home and be like, oh, it's time to pop a whatever. Oh, no, I'm going to meditate first. And then after the meditation, I didn't want to ruin my meditation buzz. So I just said, this is low-hanging fruit. After about 2 weeks of regular meditation, I just let it completely go. And then that opened me up on a whole nother level. And I wanted to do a cleanse. And a friend told me about seeing a facilitator, a medicine woman, to do Kambo.
Which is the frog.
Yeah.
The frog medicine.
Yeah. Kambo is made from the venom of a giant tree frog that is in the Amazon. And I had done lots of different cleanses before, but I can't say that I remembered ever having had frog venom applied for purpose of a purge. So that intrigued me. They had a great experience. I wanted to see what it was all about. So I, registered to do that. I went down to do that medicine. And when I got down there, the facilitator was also delivering Bufo alvarius. So I did both Kambo and Bufo alvarius in the same sitting over the course of several hours. So that was my first introduction to really ethnogenic medicines, which I group in the whole class with plant medicines.
So explain what Bufo is.
Yeah. Okay. So Bufo is also Bufo. So Kambo is the frog. Bufo is the toad. It's venom again of the Sonoran desert toad. Typically found in Mexico, northern Arizona area. And it's a frog that hibernates like 9 months out of the year. It comes out during the monsoon season to be in the wet, and it's captured and its glands are expressed for its venom, which does not harm the frog. And then the frogs are released. And then that venom is dried, it's pulverized, and it's vaporized. So you take it in you inhale it as a smoke. And it's the active ingredient in that is 5-MeO-DMT. Now, I'm not a chemist or a scientist, so I can't tell you a whole lot about that, but I do know that it's different than MDMT and the DMT, the DMT that's in ayahuasca. So very different experience. Yeah.
What's the so with ayahuasca, obviously, I've experienced that, and DMT, but what is the difference between the Bufo experience and an ayahuasca in a nutshell?
Yeah, boy, in a nutshell, that's a trick. First of all, it's indescribable. Yeah. If you think about Aya being an experience that is very hard to translate to someone, I would say that the 5-MeO-DMT, the Bufo, is 10 times as hard. One of the main differences is that the entire time, at least my experience, the entire time you're under ayahuasca, you know that you're on the medicine. The ego is still present, but you're being opened up in a number of different ways, including having your mind, I believe, intentionally scrambled by the medicine. So with the Bufo, that doesn't happen. You don't take the trip with your ego. So it comes on very quickly, very strongly, within just a few seconds of inhaling it. By the time you're exhaling it, you're already under. You go into a totally different dimension. For me, I've done it 3 times now, and every single time, in one way, shape, or form, I've gone to the center of creation where I merge with God. I merge with all that is, and I infold into the experience of all that is. And, you know, we have DMT in our bodies, right? We have DMT in our brains. There is DMT in the plant kingdom. It's everywhere. And now we know that when you're born, DMT is released. When you're born as a baby, when you come into the world, and then when you go out of the world and you die, they believe that DMT is also released. So basically, you're having an ego death before you die. You're having an experience of what it feels like to merge with all that is without the ego, the observer present. So there's no object-subject relationship anymore. It's also very short. It's like a 15-minute journey. Say it's 10 to 20 minutes, but generally around 15 minutes versus ayahuasca, which is, you know, several hours.
Yes.
Right? So once you're in with ayahuasca, you're in. Although I will say that on the Bufo, wherever you go, there's a different sense of time. So whatever you're confronting there, you know, even though it's 15 minutes of Earth time, it may not feel like 15 minutes, in fact, in Bufo time, in multidimensional time.
Yes, yeah. So how has the medicine and these journeys changed you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, let's start with the Aya. Well, no. I did the Bufo first, so let's do it in that order. I did the Kambo first, which is a purgative. It causes you to vomit. It will cause you to lose the contents of your bowels. Basically what it does is it works on soft tissue throughout your body. So it's like taking your soft tissue and your organs and just wringing them out. The bile goes into your stomach and then you purge it out. It lasts about 45 minutes and it can be very intense. You have to do a lot of breathing through it. And so I think the experience with the Kambo, and by the way, it's not just a physical purge, it's an energetic purge as well. And it works very closely with your intention, just as Bufo does or Aya does. So I would say that those 2 medicines, first of all, the Kambo opened me up. Energetically, it opened me up. But I can look back and say, so did letting go of the alcohol, so did doing the meditation, so did having an awareness and choosing to act on it, that life could be more than what I was experiencing. And then I will say that the Bufo, I don't know if I would have done the Aya. I knew about ayahuasca. I was kind of curious about ayahuasca, but I had not pegged myself as someone who would ever do ayahuasca. However, once I had the experience on the Bufo of what we really are and what's really out there in there, I lost a lot of my fear. I lost a lot of my fear, period, full stop. But then it made me want to, you know, I had heard that Aya, you know, has a reputation for having you face your fears and face your dark side. And I thought, okay, knowing that there's this light that's holding us all, that we are made of, even if I died in an Aya experience, even if I, you know, my life ended tomorrow, I'm okay. So that opened the door then for the ayahuasca experience. However, I still didn't really know anybody who had done ayahuasca. So this started a series of synchronicities, like from the moment of awareness, synchronicity after synchronicity.
Yeah.
You know, finding the woman that does the combo, finding out she also does Bufo, engaging in the Bufo, doing dialysis work and connecting with a woman who it turns out had been to Rythmia, and she became a regular processing partner with me. Kyle has a thing that he does that's we don't have time to get into, but you get a partner to do it, and you spend about 10-15 minutes a day doing it. So I was developing this relationship with this woman I had never met, who lives in Chicago, which is halfway across the country. And one day I got something in my email box about Rythmia. I saw something on the internet about Rythmia, and then she mentioned Rythmia on the call. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? She had nothing but great things to say about her experience at Rythmia. So I said, okay. And I started looking into it.
Let's talk about, so let's go to Rythmia, right? So I just want to laugh every time I think of us journeying together, you know, and every time I think of you in that and journeying in that room, I think of you doing your
my what?
Your little dance. Remember your little dance?
Oh, your little the contraction dance.
And then you sang like an angel. Like I was like, who the fuck is singing? And I was like, oh my God, it's her. She's right next to me. And then you got told to, you know, butt down, which was terrible.
You're disturbing other people's journeys. I'm like, I've been listening to people vomit at 450 hertz for hours now, and you're worried about a little singing?
Beautiful singing, by the way. Okay. Beautiful. So anyway, what I wanted to say about that was like, I think, you know, there's such a hype about ayahuasca that, you know, it's going to just solve all your problems and just go over there, you'll be healed or have the experience. You'll die and everything will fall away, and it's not the case, is it? Well, for me, and I'd like you to talk about this too, but for me it was an opening of really, you know, because of my cancer journey and other things that I really wanted to get to the nitty gritty of. To me, it felt like the ayahuasca opened everything up so that I could dive deep into and get to the root of everything. And then, so when I got home, and this is what I want to talk about, the integration, is when I got home, I felt like the work really began. So talk to me about integration and how you see that, and maybe your experience. Well, 10 minutes left, so.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite topic in the integration part, because I think that it's missed a lot.
Yes.
I don't think that, you know, still in the big scheme of things, doing ayahuasca or any of these medicines outside of Mexico, in the case of the Bufo, or outside of South America, is still fairly rare, right? And so I don't think people have come to, we haven't been doing it outside of a shamanic tribal setting, is what I mean to say, long enough to develop any kind of like a community, a really good community system or integration system around it. And it's really, really needed, because you hit the nail on the head. It does not solve all your problems. What it does is it peels you like a banana, and you still get the banana on the plane and go home. Like, right?
Yeah.
It's an unfurling for sure. I mean, I will say that at Rythmia, they do a very good job of holding the container while you're there. And I think that they have plans in the works for an integration program, and I will be very curious to see what it looks like. But I'm really wanting now to find my own mentors, to learn how I can make myself available to help people with their integration portion, because I think anyone making a quantum leap, which is what the medicine really is, it's a speed jump.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was at Rythmia, as a result of the ayahuasca, 4 nights of 4 ceremonies of ayahuasca, I let go of something that I had tortured myself with for 39 years. And I had come at fixing that from a lot of different angles, and was never able to get over it, get past it. Yeah. And what came up for me in that journey, the experience that I had being confronted with, I didn't go in. In fact, I tried to bury it. The week before we went to Rythmia, the memory came up and I said, I hope I don't have to deal with that while I'm in Costa Rica. And I promptly put it away in a very secure place, because it did not even occur to me until the very last night we were there. And yet, once I had a full understanding of the memory that I was confronting, the experience that I was confronting, I could see how all the previous 3 nights had been laying the groundwork and leading up to that very climax.
Yes.
Fucking beautiful. And I basically had to sit with the experience. But not only that, I had this spiritual teacher, because Aya really is a teacher, you know, as well. And so it's not only purgative, that you're purging your physical body, you're purging your energetic body, you're purging energies that you've taken on, attachments that you've had from previous lifetimes, from your ancestors, from lineage, from who knows where. Letting go of the things that don't belong to you, that no longer serve you, but also she's teaching you along the way. They don't just bring out the silver plate and take the cap off and go, now you're healed. All right. They go like, hey, what about this? And you're like, shit,
Yeah.
And you basically have to experience it from another perspective, because obviously the perspective that you've been viewing it from hasn't helped you do anything about it. And it was a very, very beautiful lessons, lots of beautiful lessons, learning to sit with discomfort, learning that the things that I'm in a hurry to get rid of in my life are very often the very gift that's moving me to my wish list, that's moving me to the thing that my heart is most longing for. So don't be in such a hurry to get rid of the stuff in your life that you've decided shouldn't be there. Oh my gosh, heart opening like crazy, right? All of that. And then you have this really, really big experience. Oh, and that there are no mistakes. I don't want to get off this call without forgetting to say that. One of the biggest things I learned from confronting that thing that I was feeling so guilty about for 39 years was that there really are no mistakes. That we all come in to experience something. This is our workshop, like Matt Kahn. If you're familiar with Matt Kahn, he's awesome. Kahn, Matt Kahn. He channels angelic energy, and now I've lost my track. What was he saying? This is our workshop. This is our school. We come here to have the rough edges sanded off. We come here to expand and experience. It's not coming here to get something right. It's not about that at all. And so we come in with this mission, and we're offered these opportunities to do one thing or another, but we're always at free will. So if we don't take the opportunity, guess what? We get another opportunity somewhere down the line. We are eternal beings. It's not just about this lifetime. Yeah. Right? Hoorah, love this lifetime, be in a body, have a great experience. Yeah. But also, we didn't start here, and it's not ending here. So, that's right. There are no mistakes. What is integration, sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just going to say, this is what happens. It just goes off into wherever it's. you know, the thing I love about plant medicine is it's, you're right, you can access those places you never might have been able to access with you know, counseling and psychology and therapies such as that, because it's all about the mind. But it just takes you to a deeper place. I know in the you know, when did we come back? May, June, July, August. I think those 3 months were me really doing the healing work, and it just kept diving deeper and getting rid of things. And you're right, it's like strips you to who you truly are, and that's where I feel myself. I'm just coming to remember who I truly am, and this is why I'm doing this stuff, because this is who I am. I've been like this all my life, you know, wanting to share stories, wanting to share people. I love communication. I love the essence of people, this whole experience. So I think it's people like you and me who are after the plant medicine experience, because we want to dive deeper. We want to understand what the hell is this all about. And I think with the plant medicine, as you've kind of touched on it, it opens a portal of understanding this life that we're in at a way bigger, you know, perspective, so that we feel, do you know what, it's not just all about this. You know, it's hard to articulate, isn't it?
It's really hard. It's really hard to do. Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. It's really important that after an experience like this, you have a way to ground yourself back in this three-dimensional reality, because it's really difficult to have such a quantum experience and then come back and be like, what do I do with this? How do I contain all of this? I can't share it with anybody really, because my attempts to explain it if you haven't sat with plant ethnogenic medicines, if you haven't at least done mushrooms or LSD, if you haven't had a near-death experience or something akin to that, it's really difficult. You don't really have the container to understand what's being talked about. And so it's not even fair to like come back and expect your friends or your family or someone to understand what you've been through. So I found myself reaching out regularly, sometimes daily, to you and to other people that I had journeyed with at Rythmia for that support, because we just don't even we have the groundwork, so we don't even have to go in and explain. We can just say, like, I'm sitting with some.
Exactly. And it's just you just get straight bang into the nitty gritty. It's just like, right. And then there's an understanding they can bounce off, reflect, and it's just so easy. It's great. It's really supportive. We've got a couple of minutes left. Where to now with your plant medicine journey? What's up next?
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Are you continuing to dive deep?
Definitely continuing. But that's a really interesting question, because I think the most important thing for me coming back from these journeys is always having some sort of a grounded practice, let alone the community. The community is a piece of it and super important. To me, the meditation is indispensable. Maybe for somebody else, it's yoga. Maybe for somebody else, it's breath work. It could be exercise. I don't know what, but having something that grounds you, that's your go-to. For me, the meditation is indispensable because it takes me inward. So, you know, when I have stuff show up for me, that's, you know, shadow work, that's darkness, that's my fears, that's character defects that I judge myself for not having integrated yet after I've been through all these medicine, that I have a system or a practice to go inward and just love that. It's so important to be gentle with yourself in general, like period, plant medicine or no. It's so important to realize that we're all waking up right now, whether we know it or not. The universe is forcing it. Kyle says the universe is pulling you into the ocean. So the days of forcing are over. You
Yeah.
can put on the mask and flippers and go deep, or you
Yeah.
can wait until somebody dunks you under, but it's going to happen. It
is.
is happening. So that to me is even more important than any of the journeys, is the journey inward that
Yeah.
you do without any modalities or technology whatsoever. You were born with it. It's already in you. Just go inside and love whatever you see, and don't judge as it comes up, because remember that you are the space for all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regina,
So yeah, we got to go.
we got to go. I
Dang
hate this. We've got so much. I loved how you ended that conversation, and I dearly love you. I think you're an amazing woman. You're very articulate. It's very hard to describe this stuff, and I think you've done it really well. So I want to thank you for your time, and thanks for sharing yourself with me. And I'm so bloody grateful that the synchronicities came about, that we got to meet, because you're one of my dearest friends, and I love you.
Ditto. Aho.
Thank you on the flip.
This is important discussions.
It is. It's awesome. Yeah. I love you. Thank you.